talk some more about global markets. How big is the world and where we're going through in the process? We know that when you import a good into your country, you're buying it from one country and bring it into your country. When you're exporting the good, you're selling it someplace. So every time we export goods out of the United States to another country, we're actually benefiting the aspect of we're selling goods. We're improving the economy inside the United States. We could even be improving the economy in the country we're selling to, because they may not be able to have that product or those services because we may have a competitive advantage or a comparative advantage or an absolute advantage in the aspect of our producing or selling that to the country. So it's a win-win a lot of times. It's estimated that for every $1 billion of US export, it generates 7,000 US jobs. That's a lot of jobs and a lot of people working. So we talk about the aspect of trading goods. We have a thing called the balance of trades. Imports, exports, are they the same? The US has actually been in a trade deficit for a long time. We import a massive amount more of goods than we export, but that doesn't mean that we don't sell a huge amount of export goods to other countries or services that come through. So we call the balance of trade is the total value as compared to the exports versus the import over a period of time. And sometimes the time is defined as the year generally, but it could be a matter of multiple years. It depends how far it goes. A trade surplus is favorable for the country when you're selling more goods outside and bringing that revenue into your country. In our case, we have a trade deficit, and sometimes it goes up and down depending on it, but consistently we have an unfavorable balance of trade because we have a trade deficit on a regular basis because for many decades, we've been actually bringing goods into the country relatively inexpensively, so we have a trade deficit come through. That includes the balance of payments, okay, from exports and the money leaving the country. So really we have a negative balance of payments because we have a lot of things going out of the country, so it's unfavorable in the process. There's another term you have to know is about dumping. Okay, dumping is when one country sells a product at lower prices than those charged in their producing country. An example, okay, in France, the government sits on the board of Airbus. Airbus creates airplanes. Some of you may have flown in an Airbus plane. Just so you know, France has been accused numerous times of actually having inappropriate pricing where they're actually selling the planes at less than the cost it does to produce them, because every time they sell a plane, it produces more jobs inside the country, maybe not as profitable as Lockheed or Boeing or American companies, so they're dumping the products. We've had China accused of dumping stuff. The US has even dumped some goods sometimes, although it's actually been a rare occurrence because we don't have the massive natural resources out there that other countries do in the process of creating things. We're always looking for a profit. So the dumping aspect is a lot of times through government subsidized industries with intent of grabbing market share. So tariffs. Let's talk about tariffs. We're in the middle of a global trade war today, and we're looking at different countries, and we're in the process. There's no bullets or guns, just rhetoric and the thing called tariffs. What exactly is a tariff? It's a tax that you put on goods coming into your country, or a tax the country puts on your goods coming into them. For example, I was involved in a business deal where we purchased doors from China. Literally the same quality door in the United States for a double door cost about $2,500 to $2,700 for the door, including glass, including rollers, including the frame. I could purchase the same door of actually comparable quality from China literally for $900. The cost was so different that I really pursued that aspect of it. As I brought the doors into the country, I found I had to do a lot of different things. I had a hired inspector, came out and inspected the doors 3 times. I had to pay for a truck that actually would transport it from the ship. I had to pay for insurance on the ship to make certain that just in case the doors got lost overseas, I'd be compensated for it. I had to pay for warehousing fees. I had to also pay a tariff. because of the fact that we had tariffs on them. So the manufacturer miscoded the bill. They said that it's a finish that it really was all steel, and it wasn't all steel. It was steel and glass. So all of a sudden, I had a 25% tariff charge. Now, by the way, even with the 25% tariff charge, I was still less than half the cost of an American-made door. That being said, we got the coding right. Instead, it went from 25% tariff to a 10% tariff. So really, a tariff actually came in, and the person that purchases the item is the one that pays the tariff, not the manufacturer. So we talk about tariffs. When our government puts a tariff on goods, it's a tax that you, as an American, will pay for buying the goods from another country. Okay, so what is the positive thing? If you put a tariff on thing, it elevates the price and gives the American competitors in the country a better chance to compete for your business and buying the goods. The negative things is it can sit down and raise the price of any kind of project that you're working on in the process. So tariffs can be good, tariffs can be bad. It depends who you are. If you're one buying the good and there's a tariff on it, all of a sudden you're paying a higher price, and you have to shop in the United States for it. It could also be a positive thing because of the fact that you may have to buy something in the United States, and the neighbor down the street gets to have a job and keep their job, but maybe get a raise in the process as well. So there's good and bad about tariffs. It depends which shoes you're wearing at the current moment. So the largest exporting nations in the world, if you sit down and look on the aspect of who's who, the world's largest exporting nation is actually in the blue here. You'll see that the US is really involved, and the top US trading partners, you'll see a lot of them are out there, and they're both trade, and you'll see China is a big player, and so is Canada and Mexico. If you go back, look at the USMCA trade agreement. Prior to that, China was the #1 trading partner with the United States for over 2 decades. So literally, once we approved the United States, Mexico, Canada free trade agreement, literally now Mexico is now our #1 trade partner, Canada's #2, and China comes in #3. So we're talking about global trade. It's a big deal. So in global market, the world has become smaller. Nowadays, we can trade anything from food to toys, or even a good virus or two around the entire planet. Take care.